Disclaimer, for informational purposes only. This video is created solely for informational purposes. Verify critical information from reliable sources. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to our channel, where books come alive on screen. Get ready for 5-chapter wonders that inform, captivate, and spark your imagination. Join us in this literary journey where every chapter is an adventure. Charting a New World, The Discovery of America by Just Stories. Chapter 1, Setting Sail for the Unknown. In the late 15th century, the winds of change were blowing across the European continent. A spirit of exploration and adventure was afoot, and in this chapter, we will embark on a journey of discovery that forever altered the course of human history. Imagine, if you will, the creaking of wooden ships, the rustle of sails, and the anticipation in the hearts of daring explorers who were about to set sail for the unknown. The stage was set, and the world was their oyster. In the 1490s, a Genoan explorer by the name of Christopher Columbus was on the verge of something extraordinary. He believed that a westward voyage across the vast, uncharted expanse of the Atlantic Ocean could open up a new route to the riches of Asia. However, convincing monarchs to support his audacious plan was no small feat. Columbus faced skepticism and resistance, but his unwavering belief in his vision kept the flames of exploration alive. The crescendo built as he received support from Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand of Spain, and preparations for the epic journey began in earnest. On the fateful morning of August 3, 1492, 3 small ships, the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina, weighed anchor in the port of Palos, Spain. The crew, a mix of seasoned sailors and greenhorns, gathered on deck. As the ships slipped away from the familiar shores, there was a palpable sense of trepidation and excitement. Weeks turned into months as they sailed into uncharted waters. Fears of falling off the edge of the world were real, but Columbus' resolve was unwavering. He urged his crew on, reminding them of the treasures and lands they were destined to find. It was a pivotal moment in the history of exploration. After weeks of uncertainty, land was sighted on October 12, 1492. The weary crew rejoiced as they set foot on an island in the Caribbean. Columbus had discovered the New World, even though he believed he had reached the outskirts of Asia. The resolution of their journey marked the beginning of a new chapter in human history. The discovery of America was not just a historical event, it was a turning point that would shape the future of the world. It opened a gateway to a continent teeming with diverse cultures, landscapes, and opportunities. The exploration and colonization that followed would bring about tremendous change, both for the indigenous people of the Americas and for the Old World explorers. As we look back on this chapter of history, we can't help but marvel at the courage, determination, and the sense of wonder that propelled those early explorers to set sail for the unknown. Their journey forever expanded our understanding of the world and set the stage for the complex tapestry of history that would follow. Chapter 2, Encountering the Indigenous Peoples. As the European explorers set foot on the shores of the New World, they found themselves in a land unlike any they had ever known. This chapter delves into the profound encounters between the Old World and the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The first meetings were marked by curiosity, wonder, and mutual incomprehension, and they laid the foundation for a complex and sometimes tragic relationship. The explorers, led by Christopher Columbus and others who followed, encountered indigenous peoples whose cultures, languages, and ways of life were vastly different from their own. As they ventured deeper into the continent, their encounters with the natives became more frequent and momentous. The crescendo of these interactions was a mix of fascination and confusion. Columbus and his crew, with no common language to bridge the divide, relied on gestures and simple gifts to communicate their intentions. The indigenous peoples, in turn, watched these newcomers with a mixture of curiosity and caution. These initial interactions were pivotal in shaping the unfolding story of the New World. One of the most famous encounters occurred when Hernán Cortés and his expedition landed in what is now Mexico in 1519. Their arrival in the heart of the Aztec Empire marked a dramatic climax in the story of European encounters with indigenous peoples. It was a moment of awe and apprehension for both sides as two worlds collided. Cortés and his men marveled at the grandeur of Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital, with its bustling markets, magnificent temples, and advanced civilization. Meanwhile, the Aztecs saw in these newcomers the fulfillment of ancient prophecies and, perhaps, divine messengers. However, what began as a complex exchange of culture and ideas would ultimately lead to conflict and conquest. The resolution of these encounters varied greatly. Some interactions resulted in peaceful trade and cultural exchange, while others devolved into conflict and the subjugation of indigenous peoples. Disease, to which the indigenous populations had little immunity, played a devastating role in the resolution of many encounters, leading to widespread epidemics that decimated communities. The encounters between European explorers and indigenous peoples marked the beginning of a new chapter in human history, one characterized by cultural exchange, exploitation, and conflict. This chapter in the story of the Americas was, and continues to be, shaped by the resilience, creativity, and diverse cultures of the indigenous peoples. As we reflect on this period, it serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities and challenges that come with bridging worlds, as well as the enduring legacies and contributions of indigenous cultures to the rich tapestry of the New World's history. Chapter 3: Colonial Ambitions and Conflicts. As European explorers ventured deeper into the New World, they brought with them a heady mix of ambition, dreams of wealth, and visions of establishing new colonies. This chapter delves into the colonial ambitions that shaped the course of history in the Americas, while also exploring the conflicts that emerged as different cultures collided and competed for dominance. With the discovery of the New World, Europe was presented with a golden opportunity to expand its power and wealth. Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands all staked their claims, setting in motion an era of intense rivalry. The crescendo of colonial ambitions grew with each new expedition, as explorers and settlers sought to establish their dominance in the vast and uncharted territories. At the heart of these ambitions lay the desire for riches, gold, silver, and valuable resources that were rumored to exist in abundance. The race to establish colonies and exploit the newfound lands brought about a series of complex and often contentious interactions with the indigenous peoples, as well as with rival European powers. The climax of this colonial era was epitomized by the establishment of Jamestown in 1607, the first permanent English settlement in North America. It represented the fulfillment of English ambitions for colonial expansion and the beginning of their struggle to gain a foothold in the New World. Meanwhile, in the Spanish colonies, the search for wealth led to brutal conflicts with indigenous empires, particularly the Aztecs and the Incas. The Spanish crown, eager to fund its expansion, exploited the riches of the New World, which came at a great cost to both the indigenous peoples and the Spanish colonists themselves. The resolution of these colonial ambitions and conflicts was multifaceted. While European powers successfully established colonies, their presence also led to the forced labor and subjugation of indigenous peoples. Conflicts between rival colonial powers sometimes escalated into full-fledged wars, like the 7 Years' War, which had significant implications for North American territories. The era of colonial ambitions and conflicts played a pivotal role in shaping the course of American history. It marked the beginning of a complex interplay of cultures, as well as the tensions and challenges that would define the relationships between colonizers and the indigenous populations. As we reflect on this period, it's essential to recognize both the accomplishments and the hardships faced by those who embarked on this ambitious colonial venture, as well as the enduring legacy of these interactions in the development of the New World. Chapter 4: Legacy of Exploration and Exchange. The voyages of discovery and colonization that we've explored in the preceding chapters had a profound and lasting impact on the Americas and the world. In this chapter, we delve into the legacy of exploration and exchange, where the old and new worlds collided and intermingled, leaving an indelible mark on history. The legacy of exploration and exchange was not confined to geographical discoveries alone. It was a time of unprecedented cross-cultural interactions, leading to an exchange of ideas, technologies, crops, and even diseases. The crescendo of these interactions was marked by a convergence of cultures and the beginnings of globalization as the old and new worlds met. The Columbian Exchange, named after Christopher Columbus, was a pivotal moment in this era. It involved the exchange of crops like maize and potatoes, which transformed diets and agriculture on both sides of the Atlantic. The exchange also brought devastating diseases to the Americas, reshaping indigenous societies and changing the demographic landscape. One of the most significant legacies of this period was the blending of cultures. Spanish, Portuguese, English, and French colonists interacted with indigenous peoples, Africans brought through the transatlantic slave trade, and even with each other. This intermingling gave rise to a rich tapestry of languages, customs, and traditions, creating the foundation of the diverse societies we see today. The clash of civilizations also brought conflict. European powers, particularly the Spanish, sought to impose their religious and political dominance, often at the expense of indigenous cultures. This struggle for control reached a climax in the form of uprisings, like the Pueblo Revolt of 1680 in what is now New Mexico, which demonstrated the resistance of indigenous peoples against colonial powers. The resolution of this period of exploration and exchange involved the emergence of hybrid societies that incorporated elements from multiple cultures. European colonies were established throughout the Americas, and the extraction of wealth and labor from the New World reshaped the global economy. The legacy of exploration and exchange is complex and multifaceted. It laid the foundation for the modern world, not just in terms of geography, but also in the way cultures and peoples intermingle and evolve. The legacy includes the spread of new crops, the diffusion of knowledge, and the emergence of a diverse and multicultural society. Yet, it also carries the scars of exploitation, conflict, and the lasting impact on indigenous populations. As we reflect on this period, we must acknowledge the enduring legacy it has left. The exchange of cultures, ideas, and commodities that began with the age of exploration continues to shape our world today, reminding us that history is a continuous narrative where the past always leaves an indelible mark on the present and future. Chapter 5: Revisiting the Discoveries, Modern Perspectives. As we stand at the threshold of the 21st century, the legacy of the age of exploration continues to reverberate through the annals of history. This chapter invites you to revisit the discoveries of the Americas through a contemporary lens, offering modern perspectives on the consequences, interpretations, and the enduring relevance of these events. Modern perspectives on the age of exploration are informed by a deep sense of reflection and critical examination. The crescendo of this reevaluation is marked by a growing awareness of the complex consequences of these historical events. It's a time when historians, scholars, and the broader public grapple with the moral, ethical, and cultural implications of past actions. One key aspect of this re-examination is the recognition of the devastating impact on indigenous populations. Diseases, forced labor, and the loss of land and autonomy left profound scars that continue to shape the lives and identities of native peoples in the Americas. The climax of modern perspectives on exploration comes in the form of historical reckoning. It involves an acknowledgement of the less glamorous aspects of the exploration era, the violence, exploitation, and colonization. Efforts to rectify historical injustices, such as reparations, land rights, and official apologies to indigenous communities, have become integral to this discussion. Additionally, there's a heightened focus on the environmental consequences of exploration. The exchange of plants, animals, and microbes led to ecological transformations with lasting implications. Contemporary discussions on climate change, biodiversity loss, and sustainability are influenced by these early interactions. The resolution of these modern perspectives involves a re-evaluation of the narratives that have shaped our understanding of history. The heroic tales of explorers are balanced with a more nuanced understanding of the people and cultures that were affected by these voyages. Institutions, museums, and educational curricula are evolving to present a more inclusive and accurate picture of history. This resolution also calls for a deeper appreciation of the contributions of indigenous cultures and the preservation of their heritage. In this contemporary era, our view of the age of exploration is marked by complexity, empathy, and an aspiration to understand the past in all its intricacy. It serves as a reminder that history is not static, it evolves as our perspectives and knowledge grow. The legacy of exploration continues to be part of our shared human story. It's a story of resilience, adaptability, and the enduring spirit of discovery. As we revisit these discoveries, we honor the past while seeking to build a more equitable and sustainable future. It's a testament to the power of history to inform and inspire us as we navigate the challenges and opportunities of the modern world. Thank you for diving into the world of words with us. If you had a blast exploring this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share the bookish love with your friends, and make sure to subscribe for more amazing 5-chapter adventures.